Well, over in this corner here, we have Hambini, and he's 5 years old at a 15 kilo weight limit. And in the other corner, we have Cam Nicholls, and he is a BMC fanboy, and the two are going to challenge each other to the rights to the BMC time machine. Well, on a more serious note, what's been happening here is, if you followed Cam Nicholls, he's a bit of a BMC fanboy. He's got a time machine. He really likes the bike. He's had it for a number of years, and he thinks the bike rides really nice. He enjoys riding the bike over a lot of other models that he's had. Then in the other corner, we have Hambini, who's looked at an older BMC time machine frame and basically gone, hey, look, he's not a big fan, and it's less than ideal, as Rail would say from Leisure Technique. So we have these two opposing views, and what's been happening is people have been in the comments tagging each other and showing like, hey, look guys, look what these other two are saying. So let's roll an intro and let's have a bit of a look at what the hell's going on here. Well, what's been happening is we've got Cam Nicholls, and he's developed a bit of a relationship with BMC. In recent times, they never really acknowledged him, but in recent times, he's gone over to the factory and he spoke to some of the managers and people that work there. So he kind of feels like he's got a close relationship with BMC. He rides a BMC, he likes a BMC, and that's his choice and his opinion. But in the other corner, we have Hambini, and he's reviewed one of these frames, and he thinks it's a little bit less than ideal. So there's a bit of a conflicting view here on the same brand. And what's been happening is people in the comments have been tagging each other. So, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this, you know. But what we need to realize here is this is why we have people who have different YouTube channels, and they give different arguments that they like to put forward. Now, from Cam Nicholls' point of view, he's had a bike and he's had very good life out of it. It hasn't done anything silly to him. He likes the feel of the bike. He likes the ride of the bike. But on the other hand, we have a Hambini who's had a very technical look at it, and he believes that the frame and the way it's constructed could have been done better. And he believes for what you pay for these bikes, that particular bike is not well fit for purpose, or it's not up to what he would say would be a minimum standard that you would need to expect from a bicycle frame of this cost. So that's where we really are. Now, I can understand that people in the comments are trying to get some clarification about, hey, look, you know, I've been looking at buying a BMC bike, and should I buy one or not buy one? Well, what we need to look at is that generally when these bikes are made, we have a standard distribution curve. And now when you have a standard distribution curve, most of the bikes are supposed to fall in the middle, and the middle is supposed to be within the limits of tolerances, right, that the bike's been designed to, and there'll be outliers. But what we've been finding, people like Hambini and Leisure Technique and these others, is that those outliers are probably a little bit higher than they should be, because what's happening is the quality control wherever these bikes are being manufactured is not picking them up. Either they're doing a very small sample and they're not getting them, or the people who are doing the quality control are not doing the quality control appropriately. Or the third thing could be, like we've seen from Cervelo, they widen the tolerances, so therefore more units fall within that bell curve because the tolerances are set by the manufacturers. So that's where we are. Now, we don't actually know what BMC are doing, because that's intellectual property on how they're doing their QC, how they're setting the tolerances, and so forth. So this is where we have a little bit of a differencing of opinion. Now, if you go and buy a BMC bike, you could get really good service out of it. It doesn't mean that particular unit you get could be bad. But what we are saying is that over the bike industry in total, is that we're getting too many of these bikes coming through that are outside tolerances, or they are impeding on the way the bike operates, like you're wearing bearings out in 3 months because the bottom bracket doesn't align, and you shouldn't have to be changing bearings every 3 months. Or the bike should be aligned correctly. It shouldn't be going down the road so one wheel's not aligned with the other, and so forth. This is the sort of things we're looking at, and we shouldn't have failures with these new type of design headsets that we're having. These are the sort of things that we're questioning and saying, hang on a sec, are these bikes really being tested appropriately with these new designs? And also, are they being made to the design criteria? So then we're not having failures because they have done a test on one and it has been designed and proven to be appropriately, but because the manufacturing bell curve is too wide, they're getting to a point where some of them are failing. So that's really what people like me, Leisure Technique, Hambini, Peak Torque, Durian Rider, all these sorts of people are putting question marks, because really these shouldn't be leaving the factory. We shouldn't have bikes that are so bad that we're having to change bearings every few months, or the headsets are failing, or even worse, we've got a recall from the manufacturers on forks, which is a very critical component on the bike that could severely injure you or put you into hospital or even kill you if the circumstances, all the cheese, as they say in the airplane industry, if all of the slices of cheese line up, and then you get an accident happening. So that's what we're calling out in the industry. So guys, what do you think about BMC? Have you watched Cam Nicholls? Have you watched Hambini? Are you in the middle somewhere, or which side of the boxing ring are you on? You in the Hambini corner, or you're in the Cam Nicholls corner? Leave your comments down below. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it, and I will see you next vid.